Welcome to RightCycle Trading Systems review and overview of RightCycle5 Stocks and Options Big Trend Trading System. Now, a lot of folks have read about the power of trading trends for a living, or just trading trends in general, or trading trends in order to make fortunes. You've read the books, you've heard about turtle traders and so on and so forth. And you know what? In this day and age of wanting everything fast, if you can go against the trend and become a lot more old school, smarter, and look to trade these big moves over and over, well, you start pulling yourself out of this spastic chicken with head cut off panic that people have got themselves into, largely due to this technology, social media, cell phones, and all the rest of this mumbo jumbo. And you pull yourself back old school, because the big trends are happening all over the place, and they are providing tremendous amount of profits that you can take advantage of now with RightCycle Trading System 5 over and over. We have a really solid trend trading system that puts you in position for riding these bigger types of trends, these 3-6 month cycles and trends, and they're very powerful. They provide lots of momentum. Okay, so here's a picture of performance. Now you have to keep in perspective the stock's ability to move points, at least at this during these periods of time. Now, MMM is not a big point mover. Boeing can move some points. Apple can move some points. All right, so what we want to do is have these types of precision moves that we can go into a little bit more heavily, and then just target these moves and let the system do its thing. Okay, so you want to find your ideal sweet spot stocks. This is just a sampling done at the time. There are a lot more trends in these stocks and bigger ones too. And so here on Apple, for example, since then there have been a lot of much bigger trends, but you can see here a 35-point move. Hey, with options and that's what we focus upon riding with these big trends is options, so you can get that home run type of return. All right, and you can get these fantastic types of returns with stocks too. Now I'm talking like I'm promising you future returns, and I can't promise you future returns and so on. You can see the disclaimer on how that works, but RightCycle5 does put you in a great probability position for riding big trends. It's just solid price action method that you can use to put yourself on the right cycle, within the right cycle, on the right side of the markets over and over. So you can trade these stocks like Boeing, and you can see here when you have these losses, they're pretty small compared to the wins. So you have a 21-point win, 42-point win, a 76-point win, and a 70-point win. Now what you want to do is find these stocks that tend to trend on a frequent basis and trend big. You want these drama stocks, and so this sampling here is not necessarily the best list of drama stocks. There are plenty of those out there, and they can be low priced, they can be medium priced, higher priced to high priced, extremely high priced. They just are all over the place, and they're happening all the time. And different companies get turned on and they start taking off and moving a lot, and there's just tons of opportunity. You can trade trends on penny stocks, okay, with this system. You can trade the very low price stocks and look to ride those moves and really get some great returns that way too. But having the ability to methodically pinpoint these big moves over and over is a very powerful feeling, okay, and it helps you have a peace of mind. And while you you could, while you start studying this historically and then start trading this method, you're going to feel, you're going to start to feel some, nice confidence building. And like I mentioned before, you're going to have a greater feeling of peace of mind because, hey, you're not being wigged around all the time by the marketplace, trying to chase this swing, that micro swing, this day trading thing, and you're not getting caught up in all the media or whatever. You're just focused on the trend and riding this big move, and that feels good. And if you can ride big move after big move without getting all troubled up by the marketplace and swirled around and enticed into erroneous trades, enticed into mediocre opportunities that tie up your capital. But if you can just focus on the big trends, then I believe most traders who are in the markets can do extremely well. And they can break this cycle of losing and tripping up and getting themselves into trouble and getting themselves into mediocrity and so on. This trend trading is a great way, I would say, for, I don't know, maybe most people in the marketplace. I mean, technically, most stock investors, you call them, people would usually call them amateurs. I mean, you don't want to insult, not trying to insult anyone, but people would just, they're interested in the markets, they like the markets, and they buy stocks and sell them. But they don't do so full-time as a profession, nor have they studied the markets in a professional type of way, Technically, most of those guys are trend traders. They're buying a stock, holding it for, many months or maybe a year or two, and then they're selling it. Okay? These trends don't last that long, okay? These are medium-term types of trends. So they're going to last 3-6 months, sometimes 9 if you get something really juicy, right? Maybe even a year on some if they're just really strong, and that's great because then they keep going in our direction. But I would say, from my own experience as well, that trend trading, it may be just the solution for most people. Okay, because most people are kind of sort of already doing it now. If you can add precision instead of just kind of buying a stock and just hoping that something just takes off for you in the future, well, now purposely ride move after move exactly, okay? Exactly every time. Ride these moves up and down, so you're not just diving into Boeing stock because some news report came out that they're going to be selling spaceships soon or something. Now, of course, that would be pretty compelling, but we don't want to just get into a stock based on some news story, because the question is, where are we buying this stock in terms of its price story? Are we buying it at a peak? So, for example, Boeing has to go back down 100 points after we bought it because we just arbitrarily bought the stock and thought it would go up in the future sometime, and then we justify to ourselves, oh well, I mean, I'm in it for the long term. This is a buy and hold, and one day it will go up, but hey, how many days do we have, right? Why not ride these moves over and over and over again, double your trading account, your investor's account, and then have more capital to ride more trends, or to ride trends in a bigger way, so you can start to hyper accelerate the growth of your account on purpose. Okay? We don't want to just do this thing. I mean, I know I've been in the markets a long time. I know lots of people in the markets, lots of dabblers, and it's kind of sad. So no more sadness. Let's specifically and purposely ride these big trends. We should update this into up into the point of this recording here in 2019. 'Cause there were a lot more drama trends and that are quite impressive. But anyways, there are drama trends happening all over the place. Yes, you can use this system on Forex too. We should really add those points to these pages. Forex and futures. Futures can be even easier to trade. All right, so if you're interested in making the break from the insanity of the markets and chasing this and chasing that and getting involved in mediocre investing, consider putting RightCycle5 to work for you. It could be one of the most profitable things you've ever done. It could be one of the most confidence building and sanity restoring things you've ever done. You know, hey, everyone's speeding up and running around like chickens with head cut off. Why not let us pull back and now be more strategic and ride these big moves? All right, let them keep running around and coughing up their money to the marketplace, and we'll just take it in these big trends. Okay, and you know, another thing about trend trading, it's not hyper competitive. You're not trying to, you know, juke and jive with the market all the time. You put on this trend and you let the market dance around and just eventually get to the goal of putting a ton of money into your account. How about that? And you do so over and over, and you do so systematically. So you're not trying to guess the biggest, super duperest, you know, home run, and you're not trying to guess the market. You're just simply stepping in front of these big trend triggers. It's very clear. The trigger is very clear. All right, you'll be able to see as you study this historically, and you're gonna I don't know what you're gonna do, but you may just, I don't know, freak out in a good way, get really excited when you see the clarity of the trend identification method that we use in RightCycle5. Okay, so whether you're into stocks and options particularly, futures and Forex, we mostly put stocks and options on this site because the first system was for options really, and then just kind of evolved over time on these RightCycle systems. Anyways, also one more thing, we have this new cool program called RightCycle Masters. We'll teach you how to become a superstar trader. Well, that's the goal of it. Okay, a superstar, super strategy trader, more to be more clear, and it's very powerful. You'll learn a ton. You'll be taught these strategies monthly, and so I would definitely look at adding that. It's quite a value too. But back to RightCycle5, for sure. I mean, millions of investors out there. If you guys would learn RightCycle5 and put it to work, wow! Just imagine the ability to have the ability to start advancing your account methodically, up and up and up and up, and compound that upward direction by riding trends over and over, systematically and methodically, without trying to guess the market, without straining your brain, without even getting dramatic or emotional, except maybe when you get excited when you're up 70 points on Boeing with a sweet, juicy options position. All right, so methodical, systematic. It means you're going to do every trade opportunity and let the system do its thing. Very little emotional involvement needed. Okay, very simple, very little time needed as well. All right, so if you want to get the system, scroll below, you can add the cart. If you're not on this site, then just come on over to RightCycleTradingSystems.com or see the link below. Alrighty, thank you. If you have any questions, you can contact us from the site. Thanks.